Made with Clipchamp.
Hello everybody, welcome to the explainer video. I am your presenter, Mr. A. Stevens.
Made with Clipchamp.
This is basic geometry and basic computation. We will be focusing on all about angles, types of angles, squares
Made
and
with
square roots,
Clipchamp.
basic transposition, and the man himself, Mr. Pythagoras. Let's get into it.
Made with Clipchamp.
What is a triangle? Now, in mathematics, in geometry, a triangle is a closed two-dimensional shape with three
Made with
straight
Clipchamp.
sides. A triangle is also a polygon. Basic properties of a triangle.
Made with
Triangle has
Clipchamp.
three sides, three vertices, and three angles. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle always measure 180. And listen carefully.
Made with
The sum
Clipchamp.
of the length of two sides of a triangle is always more than or greater than the length of the third side. When denoting
Made with
triangles,
Clipchamp.
if you have vertices PQR, you write it as triangle PQR. And the area of a triangle is equal to half the product of its
Made
base
with
times its
Clipchamp.
perpendicular height. All right. Now, types of triangles. Now, you can name a
Made with
triangle
Clipchamp.
based on the triangle's angles, its sides, or both angles and sides. For example, triangle
Made
by
with
angles.
Clipchamp.
Acute angle, right angle, and obtuse angle. Now, in an acute triangle, all angles are acute, which is less than 90,
Made with
but more
Clipchamp.
than 0. In a right angle triangle, one angle have to be at 90 degrees. In an obtuse
Made with Clipchamp.
triangle, one angle must be obtuse. So we can name triangles by their sides. For example, if all sides are equal, it's called an
Made
equilateral.
with Clipchamp.
Two sides are equal, it's called an isosceles. No sides are equal, it's called a scalene triangle.
Made with Clipchamp.
Now we can name triangles based on its sides and angles. For example, acute equilateral triangle, right
Made with
isosceles
Clipchamp.
triangle, and obtuse scalene triangle.
Made with Clipchamp.
All right, we will focus our attention on the right angle. Now, a right angle triangle has
Made
a
with
long
Clipchamp.
side, or the longest side, and this is called the hypotenuse. You can use a ruler to measure the hypotenuse to determine if it is the longest
Made
side.
with Clipchamp.
Or there's another way. You can actually observe that the hypotenuse is always opposite
with
the
Clipchamp.
right angle. All right. Now, question: if the hypotenuse is the longest side, that means the base and the altitude must be the two short sides.
Made with Clipchamp.
And earlier on, we said that a right angle triangle must have one 90-degree angle in it. So those are some basic
Made with
properties
Clipchamp.
of a right angle triangle. Now we will look quickly at this little activity here, and this activity is basically
Made with
asking us
Clipchamp.
to determine which side of these triangles is the hypotenuse. All right. So the quickest way actually is to
Made with Clipchamp.
identify where the 90-degree angle is, and any side opposite that 90-degree angle
Made with
is the
Clipchamp.
hypotenuse. All right, let's look at the first one to the top left.
Made with
As
Clipchamp.
you can see, this is the 90-degree, and the side that is opposite the 90-degree is AC. So we're going to call it AC.
Made with Clipchamp.
H. H represents the hypotenuse. Let's look at part 2. As you can see, this is this box here. Let me
Made
just
with
remind you that this
Clipchamp.
little box here represents a 90-degree angle. And opposite that side, ladies and gentlemen, is our
Made with Clipchamp.
hypotenuse. Third example. Oops, excuse my
Made with Clipchamp.
handwriting. But the third one, the hypotenuse, can you guess? Yes,
Made
Correct.
with ClickChamp.
It's LK. Very good. And the last one to the bottom right.
Made with
Any
ClickChamp.
takers for this one? Yes, Mark, you are correct. It is side MT because it's opposite the right angle. So
Made
M
with
to T
ClickChamp.
is the hypotenuse. And that is how you identify the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle.
Made with ClickChamp.
All right, so we are
Made
going to
with
move on to
ClickChamp.
basic computation. We're going to look at squares and square root. Now,
Made
a
with
square
ClickChamp.
means a times a. And in algebra, you remember when you multiply with the same base, you add the index. M square is
Made
m
with
times m.
ClickChamp.
H cube is h times h times h. Now 3 square would be 3 times 3, which is
Made
9.
with
5
ClickChamp.
square, 5 times 5, which is 25. 9 square, which is 9 times 9, which is 80. Sorry, 9 times 9 is 81. So
Made with
to find the square of
ClickChamp.
a number, you just simply multiply it by itself. The error what some students will make is to say, for example, 9
Made
square
with
is not 9
ClickChamp.
times 9, and the error that would make is to say 9 square is actually 9 multiplied by 2, which is incorrect. Okay,
Made
now the
with
square
ClickChamp.
root of a number. Now the square root of 100 is 10. Why is it 10? Because 10 times 10 gives you back the 100. The square root of 36 is what?
Made with ClickChamp.
6. Why? It's because 6 times 6 gives you back the 36. So basically, square root is just any two numbers when multiplied by
Made with
itself gives you
ClickChamp.
back the original number. Now, the square root of 50, ladies and gentlemen, there's no whole number that we can use that when we multiply by itself gives
Made
back
with
50. So
ClickChamp.
hence we draw for our tables or our scientific calculator. And the calculator will give us 7.07.
Made
two
with
decimal
ClickChamp.
places. So ladies and gentlemen, if you multiply 7.07 times 7.07, you should get approximately 50.
Made with
Noteworthy,
ClickChamp.
136 are called square numbers. All right, we're going to move on to
Made with
basic
ClickChamp.
transposition. Now, let's look at this example here. Now, given that a square plus b square is equal to c
Made
square,
with ClickChamp.
question says make a the subject. Now, currently, c square is a subject, but we don't want c square to be the subject. We
Made
want
with
a
ClickChamp.
to be the subject. So what we do, since we want a, and by the way, this is an equation, and how do you know? It's because of an equal sign.
Made with
So to get
ClickChamp.
a, we need to get rid of b square on the left-hand side. To get rid of b square on the left-hand side, we subtract b square on the left and b square on the right. All
Made with
equations must be
ClickChamp.
balanced. What you do on the left, you do on the right. So b square subtract b square will give us 0, leaving back a square only on the left-hand side.
Made with ClickChamp.
Now, do we want a square or a? We want a. Now, to get rid of the square on the a, what we do, we square root
Made
a
with
square.
ClickChamp.
And when you square root a square, we get a. Now, if we square root on the left, we have to square root on the right. So therefore, our answer
Made
is
with
just a is
ClickChamp.
equal to square root of c square minus b square. And that's how you make a the subject of the formula. Likewise, if you're asked to make b the
Made
subject of the
with
formula,
ClickChamp.
you'd end up with b is equal to square root of c square minus a square. Now,
Made with
finally, ladies
ClickChamp.
and gentlemen, we want to look at Pythagoras theorem. All right, the famous Greek philosopher of mathematics. Now, Pythagoras basically discovered that whenever you have a right angle triangle, and before we start, remember in this example here, C would be the longest side, and C is also the opposite the 90 degrees. So what Pythagoras was saying, if you sum the squares of the two short sides, A and B, that will give you the square of the longest side. Let me say it again. If you sum the squares of the two short sides, that is equal to the square of the longest side. Now, if C is the longest side, therefore A and B must be the two short sides. And we can transpose A, B, and C to get all these equations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this explainer video on basic computation and basic geometry. Thank you.